Alright, y'all. G'day, gone. Taking a look at some more fascinating finds from Australia and New Zealand as well. Showing the Kiwi some love. We're on a roll with this lately, man. Like, there's such good stuff coming from that region. This stuff will truly knock your socks off. Please buckle up. Let's have some fun. All right, starting out with another very unique and kind of wild Australian bird. I mean, Australian birds really kind of lead the pack, don't they? It seems like worldwide, it's so fascinating. They're all so different. This one is called a tawny frogmouth. Check this thing out. Pretty interesting, to say the least.
Tawny frogmouth, and it's part of a family of birds that a lot of people call
Look at that thing.
Nighthawks. And even though their beak doesn't look that big, it'll open really, really wide, and they actually use that for catching insects in flight. While they're flying around, they'll use those big eyes of theirs to actually catch an insect in flight, and those big hairs that they've got around their mouth will help guide that insect in.
Let's take a second. The way that thing's looking is kind of like giving you the side eye, like it's judging me, man. What did I do?
Doing what's called stumping, where when they're a little bit nervous, they'll stand completely still in that kind of angle, trying to look like a tree stump. And if you
his like the way his coat looks here, his feathers, the color, the texture, almost looks like he's made out of either like wood, like tree branches, right, or like stone. It's such an interesting look. He looks like a statue. Not to mention just so unique. I mean, his face is like no other bird I've seen.
If you saw this animal in the wild, if you saw this bird in the wild, you would hardly be able to actually make it out there. Camouflage is so good.
Oh yeah, I bet he can camouflage extremely well.
Trying to look like
I mean, if I saw that out in the wild, I probably wouldn't even see it. Like, I wouldn't even notice it, right? Because it camouflages. If I did happen to make it out, I would be like, oh my God. Like, am I okay? That's the weirdest looking bird I've ever seen. I wouldn't think it's a bird. I think this GIF sums it up perfectly. That's kind of the look. We were given there. Regardless, this guy is super interesting. I really got to hear, have y'all ever seen one of these? A, out in nature, that'd be kind of crazy. Or B, just in a controlled environment like this, in a zoo, something, right? Has anyone seen this in person? I imagine it's pretty unique. Next up is one you guys probably might know already, although some people might not. Regardless, I think it's very, very fascinating and mighty in a way. This is, of course, the longest national highway in the world. If you haven't guessed it already, we're talking about National Highway 1. I mean, yeah, that's almost the exact outline of Australia. The fact that they constructed this, they planned this out, connected it, constructed it, right, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, spanning 14,500 kilometers or over 9,000 miles. National Highway 1 in Australia, the longest highway in the world. That is insane, man. Very cool. And I have to know, have any of you, I guess another question to y'all, has anyone watching ever been crazy enough and had the time and money to do a whole trip around, right? Like, I don't know, anywhere. Doesn't matter where you start. You start in Adelaide, you go all the way around. Or you start in Brisbane, you know what I mean. That would be freaking insane. How long would that take? As an American, I kind of imagine like one of the bucket list road trips everyone kind of still has and kind of wants to do is, doing the whole Route 66, right? Over here you go Chicago to LA on the old school, Route 66. But I feel like this is kind of famous like that, but this is, Route 66 on steroids, right? This is way more of a daunting task. Also, I always forget until I see these maps. I think it's kind of fascinating that it goes on Tasmania as well. So obviously a little hard to jump off the Highway 1 in Melbourne and, magically appear on the one in Tasmania, that section. Obviously, you could take a ferry or whatever, I'm sure, if you're totally dedicated. But yeah, unfortunately, they have not connected those over the water. That might be a little bit of a hard task. Now, this fact is pretty crazy. I don't know if I've heard this one before or not, but it's pretty mind-blowing. This could knock your socks off if they're not off already. Not to get all kinky on you. Saudi Arabia imports their sand for construction, at least, from Australia. And you might ask, why the hell would they do that? Isn't Saudi Arabia full of massive sand dunes, right? Mountains with sand dunes in between them? Yes, they are. But when it comes to construction, their sand is too fine, too powdery and too fine, right? They need kind of construction grade, grittier sand. And that's where Australia comes in. I'm looking forward to this next video. We have a 79-foot. Sorry, it's in feet. I don't know why. It should be in meters, right? But 79 feet for references. Just really big. 79-foot pygmy blue whale surfaced near Busselton Jetty, Australia. A breathtaking encounter with one of the ocean's rarest giants. Let's go ahead and take a look together. And of course, there's always some music. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. Okay. First of all, that water is absolutely gorgeous. And you can see this guy here. He is... He's a giant. He is a giant indeed. Oh my goodness. You know, seeing this thing outside of a movie, right? Seeing actual footage of something like this is so incredible. And it's still that. It's still footage on a screen. This must be absolutely breathtaking in person, man. Like, right? Like, videos always make things look less, right? Like, smaller, less impressive. This still blows my socks off. This must be, just like I said, it must be absolutely incredible to witness this in person. You look down and you see that. That would take your breath away. Now, a couple facts for you. Again, these ones have to do with giants, kind of jumping off from that giant, whatever that was. A pygmy blue whale. Sorry, I had to look again. We're going with giant postcodes here. The biggest, if you didn't know already, 0872 or 0872. Did you know that's the biggest postcode on Earth? This, of course, in Australia. The wild thing is that it almost spans 3 states, right? South Australia, Northern Territory, and Western Australia. I think that's absolutely insane. I mean, postcodes, what the hell, right? Look at this. You know, like, how is this right here in the same postcode as that? I mean, think of how far of a drive that would be. Think of how far of a drive it would be way in here and then going way in here. I mean, you're deep in Western Australia, and you can go all the way to basically the border of Queensland, way over here, and you're still in the same postcode. That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Also, it looks like there's this little mark here. Is that kind of not in, like, within that little circle there? Is that not in the postcode? How's that work? This is just wild, and it's one of those funny things where it's like, how did this happen? I don't know, but it's damn interesting, and most people would have no idea. Population 7. That's the best part. That's the best part. I mean, you have that big of an area, and it is truly, you know, for the most part, no man's land. All right, and one more video about, well, kind of giant things, right? The giant whale, the giant zip code, and now we head over to New Zealand for the giant name, the longest name place in the world, apparently. I thought I've seen this before for another country. I'm not sure, so we'll have to, we'll have to fight that out another time, see who really holds this title. But this has got to be what he said. That one cracks me up. The fact that they've actually a sign for it. I mean, look how big the sign is compared to what you would normally need. Who named that? Seriously, what were you doing? Who named that? How do you even say in normal conversation where you're from or where you're going if you're going here, right? To be fair, I'm not ripping on it. I think it's awesome. I think it's fun. And no, for any of you sick minds out there that think I'm going to try and pronounce that myself, I'm sorry, but that's a big fat no. Trust me, I have trouble with names far shorter than that. All right, back to some crazy clips from out in the wild. We're back in Australia for this one, and I have to say, we already knew that these are freaky. I actually have had the pleasure of seeing one of these in person And I believe it was the Nashville Zoo, Nashville, Tennessee had one. Just the presence to have was a little freaky. I think you know what we're talking about. The cassowary. Let's see. I haven't seen clips of these in a long time. They're pretty freaky. Australia, y'all are crazy for this one. Here we go. And there's no sound. That sucks. All right. Here we go. No sound. That is terrifying. Holy crap, dude. Look at that thing hustle. You know, they are in some sort of a truck or a Jeep or whatever. It's not a Jeep. You know what I mean. They're in some sort of off-road safari vehicle that looks like it's going at a pretty good rate of speed. And this thing is not only keeping up, it's accelerating towards it with a vengeance here. That is terrifying. Holy smokes. And I know people have actually made the comparison that these are somewhat similar to like some dinosaurs, almost kind of like a velociraptor cousin or something. I can see that. Look at the feet. Look at how this thing moves. Yeah. As the title says, this thing looks like it stepped right out of the screen of Jurassic Park and is just, scaring people in real life. This is crazy. Must go faster. Yeah, I mean, there's the movie in real life. Someone got to live this in real life. I don't know if that's exciting or scary as hell. That's a dinosaur, mate. Yeah, I agree. But that's not it. If you want more proof that this thing is literally like a dinosaur, freaky, unique in all the worst ways. No, I'm just kidding. I love these. I think they're awesome. They're just so freaky. This might be the best video of one I've ever seen when it comes to kind of capturing the raw energy these things can have if they're pissed off. You don't want to piss these things off. Let's just say that. All right, brace yourself. Here we go. Volume warning. Yep, that's it. I'm out. Holy crap, right? Am I right? That is ridiculous. That is terrifying. You know, when you hear animal sounds sometimes, it just truly is incredible. Right? It's like miraculous how some animals sound, right? You think of like our voices, right? Our vocal cords vibrate, and even the science behind that is pretty interesting, right? But like animals have this guttural, just bass, deep sound, right? And they all sound different. That is like a predator, like freaky sound. That is powerful. If that doesn't knock your socks off, I'm sorry. I guess I failed you. Come on. Down in the comments, you got to tell me by now if your socks are knocked off. I mean, I'm trying here, okay? That was incredible. All right, next post. Can't be as bad as that one, right? Can't be that scary. Off the coast of Australia, a hugging octopus was filmed. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Holy smokes. The macro-octopus? The macroptopus? I know y'all are laughing. I'm sorry, guys. That's what I'm here for, okay? Go easy on me. Caught a shark, wrapped it with its tentacles, and soon released it. Most likely, it was scraping off the parasites from it. Well, is that low-key nice, then? What? Let's see. Let's judge for ourselves. Holy smokes. Wow, he just grabbed him. No contest there. That is absolutely frightening. I've always thought octopus, anything like this, they look alien-like to me. They're very freaky looking. They're kind of magnificent and terrifying at the same time. That poor shark is just like, yo, what is happening? I'm not used to this, right? If that's what we call a hug underwater, I guess I'm glad I don't live underwater. We'll just say that. All right, so we fast forwarded. He's been hugging him the whole time. Everyone, you know what I love is that there's onlookers. Everyone's kind of stopped swimming and they're all like, look at this. They're all looking like, what's going on over here? That's a bit of a long hug, right? But he does. He lets him go. All right. Who's swimming next to the octopus next? Now, this next one may not knock your socks off, but it's a reminder, and not that you would even need this, but it's just a reminder, be careful how you present yourself or what you post online, when it comes to Facebook and that type of stuff. This lady learned this the hard way, okay? She was an Australian. This was 2015. She won $825, pretty good chunk of change, on a horse race. She posted a selfie showing off the winning ticket to her Facebook, and someone captured, screenshotted that shit, and they captured the barcode from the ticket, and they claimed the winnings for themselves. Now, I don't even know how that works. I think that's kind of weird and sketchy in itself, but regardless, someone stole her winnings because she posted the whole damn thing, and that sucks, right? Goes to show you, if you win something, and when it comes to especially like winning any type of money at once, right? Maybe don't post about it. Period. I think is the better play is just not post about it when you win stuff. If you insist on posting your winnings, like, hey, look at me, everyone, I won. Maybe do it after you cashed it in, right? Then post about it once you already have the money in your possession. Again, call me crazy. I'd rather just not post about winning something like that at all. You can take your money, take your, household out for a nice dinner or whatever, save the money and move on. Now, this next one's pretty bizarre. It's not a video, it's just a screenshot, but it's of an alert someone got in New Zealand. And it has to do with crazy weather phenomenons. It has to do with another country altogether. Stuff like this definitely blows my mind. Imagine getting a tsunami alert due to an earthquake in Russia. Yeah, that's what this person got. Tsunami advisory, strong and unusual currents and unpredictable surges at the shore are expected following a magnitude 8.8 earthquake near Kamchatka, Russia. I'm not an earthquake expert by any means, but I'm pretty sure 8.8 is pretty damn high on the scale, right? Strong currents and surges can injure and drown people. There are danger to swimmers, surfers, people fishing, and anyone in or near the water close to the shore. This advisory is for all coastal areas of North Island, Great Barrier Island, South Island, Stewart Island, and the Chatham Islands. For more information, blah, blah, blah. So you can see, and this was from actually pretty recently, only a couple months ago, like the end of July, it looks like, 2025. That is pretty crazy, right? Getting emergency alerts for weather is always a little bit freaky, like, oh, what is going on, right? What do I got to do? But to get a tsunami alert because of an earthquake, in my opinion, I mean, Russia's pretty far away, right? Pretty far away from New Zealand. That's scary. And then, of course, a reminder of one of the coolest facts that most people don't know about, the eighth continent, kind of, right? I mean, literally, actually, Zealandia. Right? It has been sinking for the last 23 million years, and the last bits are literally, you guessed it, New Zealand. Kind of cool. Although I feel like a little bit creepy that like you're on the tippity top of a huge continent and like only that part is sticking up out of the water. Little questionable, but I think it's probably okay, at least for our lifetime, I would hope. So, yeah, there is your Zealandia fact. Pretty cool, if I must say so myself. Imagine if this was all above water. Whole different ball game with that country now, right? And finally, another clip out of Australia. I mean, the ocean, animals in Australia are always just kind of the best, right? It's so fascinating, but especially when it comes to sea creatures. Look at this. This is absolutely awesome. Oh. Wow.
Holy shit.
Holy shit is right.
Whoa, mate.
I love the Aussie commentary. I mean, it's a cherry on top. It really is the best. Look at that hammerhead, man. He is in prowl mode. But I have to say that Ray is doing a phenomenal job of kind of escaping. I can't quite tell what happens towards the end.
Oh my.
If he got away or he met his demise, but I mean, he hit the X button, didn't he? He jumped right over him. I don't think the shark saw that coming. That was pretty 200 IQ, you gotta admit. Bro did a backflip, 100%. He escaped with style, far better style of the infamous Ray. All right, this was a good use of it. It's been a while, but that was pretty good. Just watch the hammerhead accelerate out of the 360. It was lightning. His tail looked like an outboard motor. I mean, I agree. Both creatures were impressive. Both of them. Right? I mean, that shark was hauling ass, man. It was crazy to see that thing move like that. That was a lot of fun. I really hope y'all enjoyed that. I really hope, you know, it knocked your socks off. At least one of these did. I am confident it did. If not, then you are just unfazed by everything. So I guess for that, I salute you. No, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I appreciate you watching. I can't wait to see the comments on this. And boy, stay tuned for more coming. I enjoy the hell out of these. Australia and New Zealand and everyone else watching. Till next time, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all, for the second time, I'll catch you later.